those that have heard me speak before, I'm going to intentionally, from my perspective, slow roll into the issue because I want to gain some perspective. I want to stay true to the topic. You know, the topic isn't, hey everybody come, remember the unborn, there's going to be a talk either. Hey everybody, it's life runners. That wasn't the topic. The topic is Judge Kavanaugh and Dr. Gosnell, what next? So the people that came for that topic, I'm going to be true to that. Okay, and I'm going to let that warm us up. But there is going to be a crescendo at the end of this. There will be a crescendo, and those that are seeing me speak know what I'm talking about. I promise you there will be a pro-life blitzkrieg at the end of just numbers and facts and stuff. I'd ask every, yeah, right here, wow, pen and paper. I mean, ugh, the 7-year, what am I saying, the 9-year chemistry professor just wants to come over the top and grab you and hug you, you know? I mean, the greatest high five for a presenter is to take a note. And so anyone that has one of these, you know, a lot of times in class we're like, oh, keep those away, put them away. No, I'm asking everyone, take it out right now. And there's 2 things I want you to do on your phone during the presentation. Well, maybe 3 things. Maybe 4. So everyone pull it out. I mean, yeah, we'll see. I'll come with some more ideas. For one, get a note taker out. You're going to hear some things. I mean it. You're going to hear some things and you're going to go, what? And then later you're going to go, now what was that number, Leah? Do you remember the one? Oh, I'll ask Pat. Yeah, I got his number. I'll text him. And I'll get a text and I'll tell Leah the number and she'll pass it on to you. Or you'll just have the number. So just, you know, take that note down when you have that aha moment. That's 1. 2, I would ask that you guys are good at this. You can either do it live or later. Live's good. Share stuff on social media during the presentation. If there's something just like, wow, snap a picture, give a note. At the South Dakota Right to Life convention, Pastor Dale, remember I said at the end, hey, if all you do is just take a picture of that banner and post it on your social media, there you have it. It matters.
I did that.
And you did that. Yes, you did. Thank you. Because it matters. It matters to the voiceless. It matters to those that need us to cast their vote for them. So do that on your phone. What else can you do on your phone? If you got a shirt, raise your hand if you got a shirt tonight. You got to, and that's our jersey. And we're going to end the presentation. Keep them up. Keep your hand up if you got one. Good. This is what I ask for you. And do this during the presentation. Sign up for Life Runners. The only requirement to be a Life Runner is to have that shirt that you have in your hand and to wear it as a public witness. So I love when people get it and they just put it on. Like I was giving a presentation at school in Detroit a couple weeks ago, and one of the students got a shirt, and I looked over and it's already donned it, I was like, yeah, I'm all in. So go to liferunners.org. This is the 3rd thing. Let's even do that right now. I'll lead you through it. I'll get you started. Because it's amazing how low attrition, even though I'll give us encouragement, we get going and people go, oh, I forgot, or I got distracted, and that was so interesting. But let's go to liferunners.org. So if you got your phone and you got a shirt and you're not a Life Runner yet, go to liferunners.org, which is that website up there. And then there's a join. Hit the join. And just kind of work through that sign up during the presentation. And why do that? Because you got the jersey, which makes you honorary, but when you're signed up, you'll be part of the team. It takes you from fanship to teamship. Like, it's not until you sign up that you're on the team. Right now, you're a fan of the team. So get on the team during this hour, and we'll see those coming in. And this is kind of cool. When you sign up, let me tell you who gets your sign up. A lady on the island of Fiji, chapter leader, this is the Life Runners Board. A lady on the island of Fiji, Karen Patnod, was in Rapid City, Dale. That's where she used to be the Rapid City chapter leader. She's got 500 Life Runners on the island of Fiji. How biblical does this sound? It sounds like Paul and Barnabas in Cyprus or something. On the island of Fiji, she's going to get your sign up. There is a guy in Georgia, a post-abortion father that's going to get your sign up. There's a guy that ran across America for prayer and pro-life named Jeff Grabowski, wrote a book about it in Florida. He's going to get your sign up. There's a lady in San Antonio, Texas that's going to get your sign up. There's a lady in Kansas City, Kansas, a homeschool mom that's going to get your sign up. There's a priest in San Diego that's going to get your sign up. Navy Chaplain Commander Joe Coffey. I'm going to get your sign up. Do that during it. So literally just like you're doing, I'm looking, I can see you. Like you're filling it out. And yeah, exactly. Work your way down through that. Because by the end of this hour, you'll be like the newest member of the National Life Runners team. The largest pro-life team in the world. Tonight, the beginning of our presentation, 9,625 members. If you're already a life runner before tonight, raise your hand. Who are teammates in here? Yeah. Okay? So we got, close to half the room already on the team. By the end of it, it'd be great if everyone was. If everyone was. And so you've got the jersey. That gives you something to do. There's what you can be doing on your phone. Notes, social media, signing up. Let's get rolling. So tonight, the topic. Judge Kavanaugh and Dr. Gosnell, what next? Who followed any part of the news, anything, with the Kavanaugh confirmation? Okay, raise your hand, like anything. Like, yeah, if your hand's not up, that means you don't even know who Kavanaugh is. So maybe we'll do the who knows the name Judge Kavanaugh in the room. You know the name. Okay, I'm just wondering, I'm like, wow. Like, where have you been? Been hunting? Were you in Alaska? We'll tell you what's happened while you were gone. It's like, wow, too cool. So everybody knows the name. So let's churn the waters. And it's okay. I mean, I don't know if we pulled in somebody that is not pro-life, that identifies as pro-choice. I don't know if we pulled in somebody that is some degree of pro-life or degree of pro-choice. But about in the middle of the presentation, I'm going to tell 4 stories of 4 different perspectives of our culture where they stand on this issue. And I don't know, maybe we'll have someone in all 4 of these camps and you'll identify with the stories. But wherever you're at in that journey, I really do want to hear, what was your perspective if you could be so generous on the Kavanaugh? And I'm intentionally not going to bait this. I just want to see what comes out and then I'll bait it. So, something like, hey, I thought, or I was surprised by, or I couldn't believe, or this is what I think it was. Anybody. I'm offering it. As you can see, I'll have no problem filling as needed. What do you think, and I'll go ahead and start asking some questions. What do you think the people that were against Kavanaugh's confirmation, what do you think it was all about? Was it about the sex scandal? Was it about, just your gut check? I mean, where was all the pushback? I mean, what's your gut at what the reality of that was? And it's important to know, because we might have a lot of different perspectives. Anyone willing to share what you thought? And maybe that's why you came to the talk, because you want me to share what I think it was. And where we're going. Okay? So you think it was definitely a life issue. Okay? Way to just break the ice. I couldn't agree more with you. I mean, at the end of the day, let me just give some statements, and I'll always try to be fair. Is it fair to say that the people that didn't want Kavanaugh to be confirmed fully knew that he was a pro-life guy? Is that fair? I mean, was that, as the public, was that clear to us? If it was clear to us, do you think it was clear to the senators that didn't want him confirmed? I think that was a clear thing. I think just being fair, that was clear. That he was somebody that both sides knew was a pro-life guy. And do you think that both sides knew what was at stake? Do you think the pro-life people knew what was at stake by how we acted? Do you think the pro-choice people knew what was at stake by the way they acted? You saw how they acted, right? People did watch a little bit of news. And some of the senators saying this was one of the worst reflections of behavior of all time. Kind of deal, ever we're embarrassed. Yeah, why was that behavior like it was? Because, God bless you. The people that stand for life like to say that we can just, at least this is what I hope at the end of this hour, that really we can just say the truth stands on its own. It's just a matter of knowing what that truth is. The people that stand for not life, there could be at a minimum perception that they're willing to do anything. Meaning not truth, or deception, or lies, or tactics to get what they want. Maybe you can accuse the other side of that. That's kind of interesting. We watched that play out. I'm going to go ahead and move past that, and I'm just going to leave it at this. I want to give everyone an opportunity to comment, see what came out. I think we all in the room know clearly what that was about. It was about the life issue. Clearly, the behavior, the bad behavior, the tactics, it was about what this talk is. How about Gosnell? What was that all? Who saw the movie? Good. So who's willing to go, this really surprised me, or wow, this one part, or something in the movie that just when you walked out, you talked about, what were those things? At dinner tonight, we talked about some things. What are your things? Anyone willing to, you seen the movie? See the movie? This row, you saw the movie? Yeah. What was it? What was something specifically, not generally, what's something in that movie that you went, huh?
I thought when the movie was going on that they were over-demonizing him.
Okay.
And then at the end, when I learned more about it, they showed the actual pictures, you saw how realistic the movie was to real life.
Okay.
So I thought they were trying to push it too far, and then I realized oh, this is actually kind of how it was.
Yeah, it was almost documentary-like.
Yes.
I know they didn't want that. They wanted to tell their story. They tried to not make it a documentary. But it was
surprising.
It had almost a documentary feel for a movie. It just teetered on that. Anyone else want to share? Yeah.
Well, I thought as a healthcare worker, alone, if anyone was watching that movie, that facility, you wouldn't go get your nails done there in something that dirty and gross and uninspected, and that would be okay for anybody to send anybody to. It was just shocking. Because I know in a hospital how many inspections we go through, how hard it is, and that just,
So Connie's perspective is, as a health worker, she's like, wow, I'm surprised that people didn't revolt to that. Someone at dinner tonight said they're surprised that what was going on there wasn't more shocking. And what we shared is, it was shocking. At least they brought out one narrative to one of the workers, and this was the baby A lady. If you remember the movie, that she took the picture that they do have on their website. You can go look at the baby. Basically a full-term baby. I think they estimate 32, 33, 34 weeks. But this baby A, do you remember the line she said when they asked why she took the picture? She said, when I looked at the baby, I thought, this baby deserves to be seen. That was interesting. And that's a very holy thing, by the way, to be seen. To be seen is holy. That is holy work. That is godly work, to see somebody, to look at someone. Mother Teresa, St. Mother Teresa, this was one of her chrisms, one thing she was known for, is that she really would see people. I have a friend who met St. Mother Teresa. His family gave her and some of her nun friends a ride in their 15-passenger family, a big family, in their van in Chicago. And when that van went kaput, they tore the seat out of the van that St. Mother Teresa sat in, and they have it in their paint shop in Colorado Springs. But he tells this story that, this is 10 years removed. He saw St. Mother Teresa in Rome at an event across a big room. And he was watching her work the room and go around and visit people, and she caught his eye. And she walked across the room and came up to him and said, how's your family in Chicago? They spent a grand total of, 15, 20 minutes together in Chicago. And she remembered that. That's holiness. That means being fully present. So that lady, back to Connie's part, that tech assistant, she saw that baby and said that baby deserves to be seen. So you can see the humanity, bringing up humanity. And humanity, of course, as a PhD nanoanalytical chemist, I could give an hour talk on humanity at the moment of conception. We're all there. Full human genome, only difference between us then and now is time and food. We're changing right now. We're changing right now. We're still changing. We're changing since the moment of conception. So from a biochemistry, we've been changing since the moment of conception. Full human genome, time and food. That's all the difference from the moment of conception. Still is. So, yeah, to be seen. Do you remember the scene where the other abortionist was on the stand and she was being prodded in defense of Gosnell by saying, oh, so what do you do when a baby is born alive? Do you remember what she said? Those who saw the movie?
Make sure they're not black.
Yeah. Basically, they just set them to the side. They kind of did nothing. They just let them expire. And so then the perspective for us viewers was, then he goes, oh, so what's more humane? To allow them to suffer and expire, or what Gosnell was doing is he was snipping, clipping their spinal cord in the back of their neck. So isn't it interesting the perspective of me going, oh yeah, horrible, clipping spinal cords of babies. But his point was, wait a minute, what's more humane? Just to show how twisted this has gotten. So of course we want to untwist that. So we got the Gosnell movie that showed some realities of truth. We have Kavanaugh that showed some realities of what the real issue is. And this is, as the city put together, that statement, how the issue of our time. So I'm making a case that this is the issue of our time. And at the end, sometimes I do numbers up front, I'm saving them for the end. If you're hearing me now, you will believe me later, because I will substantiate if you don't already think that this is the issue of our time. Wait till you hear the numbers comparatively against other historical events. This is the issue of our time. And watching our nation react on Judge Kavanaugh, a vote on life, no life, watching the reality of something that happened in our nation. Remember the other sub-story of Gosnell? Was the media there in the beginning, in the movie? No. Was the media there when the movie was shown in the theaters? Did the nation rally around it? No. That's intentional. The other side wants to remember the other side wants to cover up truth. We want to shine light on it. Truth seekers. I'm a scientist. At the end of the day, what's the core essence of a scientist? It's a truth seeker. It's also a chrism of our faith, being truth seekers. But that's what we want to know. But the agenda side, the deceptive, lying side, the not life side, they want to cover that up. And that happened, again, when the movie was in the theaters. They didn't shout it out. They didn't give it any free media. They didn't talk about it. They wanted to keep it as quiet as could be, like that expiring baby. So we've established these two things. What next? This is the part I just really want to visit about. And I want to transition this what next with 4 stories. 4 stories. I'm going to read you some. I read these at dinner to the Jacks for Life Executive Board. And the 4 things, real things, is I'm going to share about the shocking far left of this. And the shocking far left, I had to be picky, going, God, we only have so much time. I want to set this up for discussion. I want to get people things to write down. But I chose recently to read an article about 16 billboards in the city of Cleveland. So these are real billboards. And each of these billboards starts with abortion is, and then just a statement. 16 billboards throughout the city of Cleveland. So here we go. This is my first anecdote of where our culture is. 4 realities. Abortion is a second chance. For who? Abortion is gender equality. Tell that to China with the one-child policy. Abortion is life-saving. These are like really on a billboard. Jacob, where are you at? Jacob, where are you at in the room? Yeah. Jacob's response to some of this is, are people not like shocked at how ridiculous these are? And he didn't like my answer. My answer was, no. There's a chunk of our culture right now, this just goes right down, like a spoonful of Jell-O, diced with nasty. There's this sucker, I got my brother, I bought in San Antonio, he was visiting me in San Antonio, I was stationed there. It had a jalapeno in the sucker. I was like, hey, would you like a sucker? Yeah, during the movie. And I remember just watching him the whole time. I mean, that's abortion. They sell us this great thing, and then when he got to the jalapeno, he's like, brotherly love, right? That really happened. My mom's like, Patrick.
Seriously?
Seriously? Yeah, seriously. My mom's, how pro-life is it to bring your mom to the top? I mean, that's pro-life. Abortion is normal. They want it to be. There's nothing normal about it. Abortion is liberty. Pastor Dale asked me, he's like, Pat, who's reading these? And of course the response to our chagrin is, everybody is. The 5-year-old that's learning billboards. The 7-year-old, the 8-year-old, the 9-year-old, you get my point. Everyone's reading. They're billboards. And the culture is defining this term. That's why we huddle up to get the truth out there. Because every one of these is a flat-out lie. And they're up on a billboard for everyone to read. Abortion is liberty. Really? 94% of post-abortion ladies said they regret their abortion. Doesn't sound like liberty to me. Abortion's a blessing. You know what's a blessing? Life. Life is a blessing. Life is the ultimate blessing. Life is where blessings begin. Abortion is health care. Let's make a deal tonight. Let's no longer call them abortion clinics. I commanded a hospital at Ellsworth Air Force Base in Rapid City. Anyone been by Ellsworth Air Force Base? We're in South Dakota. Some people must have been. Yeah, D1 bomber. Ellsworth. And it's not a clinic, an abortion clinic. No one's getting well there. Clinics are for wellness. Let's not call it a clinic. Let's call it a facility. Let's not use their rhetoric that we're using. It's an abortion facility. Abortion is sacred. Life is sacred. Abortion is a family value. How ironic. Family is children. Family is life. Every one of these. Abortion is necessary. No, it's not. There'll be 900,000 abortions this year and 18,000 adoptions. And the adoptions, there's a 2-year line. Did you know that? Want to hear that again? Remember, there's going to be plenty of things to jot down that you're not going to find easily on Google. 18,000 adoptions a year in America. And there's a 2-year line. 2 years for one of those babies. Abortion is not necessary. Every baby's a wanted baby. The irony of the other side is saying, every baby a wanted baby. Every baby is a wanted baby. See how the words get twisted? The other side said, no, we want every baby a wanted. Every baby is a wanted baby. Rhetoric and deception and twisting. Abortion is hope. There's one. I said there was 4. Next. I said to get my hair cut. These are all near term too. I got plenty. Get my hair cut. Lady asked me, how's your week? What are you doing? I said, oh, I'm driving up to South Dakota State University. I mean, this is like, now stuff. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm giving a talk. Judge Kavanaugh and Dr. Gosnell, what next? Oh, what's that about? Okay. So you're getting your hair cut. So I get to a point and she goes, oh, well, I want to tell you, I'm really against abortion, but I am pro-choice. Listen to what I said to her. Again, you might want to write this down. This is quick. I said, that's not possible. And she said, well, what do you mean? I said, one of the choices is abortion. And you're not for that. So you're actually not pro-choice. You're pro-life. No, and I said, but I think what you're trying to say is that you are for the freedom to choose, which our God is for the freedom to choose. He gave us free choice. He gave us freedom. We're for the freedom to choose. We just want people to choose life. It doesn't make us pro-choice. We're still pro-life, but we hope they choose life. And then she goes to me, yeah, that's me. I said, well, guess what? You're pro-life. And she goes, this is my hair. Well, she's cutting my hair. Huh? I'm pro-life, she said. Just repeated it back. That really happened today. But you see how I'm giving you a slice of, here's somebody, so the first story is about people that are just, pro-choice evil, those billboards. But the second group is almost, they're lost. Somehow there's been this slight perversion. They're actually really for life. They're against abortion, but they're labeling as pro-choice. They're voting for pro-choice candidates because they think they value that. See how semantical this can get? You see why you need to university? Do you see how studious this is? Do you see how philosophical this is? Do you see how apologetics this is? Do you see how good it is that you're here? To hear how to untwist what's happening in front of us in our life and the issue of our time, of all time? Third story. Young lady at University of St. Mary in Omaha. Anyone know who goes to the University of St. Mary in Omaha? Okay, good nursing school. I was at Spirit Catholic Radio in Omaha I did a devotion series, a pro-life minute. Did 113 of them. They're cycling out. You can jump on the website, spiritcatholicradio.com/pro-life if you want to hear them. Listen to them while you're running. And someone said, hey, Pat, did you hear about the group at the University of St. Mary's where they're starting this Molly Strong group? It's for women's safety. Because Molly in Iowa, they got killed when she was on a run. People know this story from Iowa? College student? Month, 2 months, 3 months? Not that long ago? And they said to me, hey, they'd be a great life runners group. Women's safety, a women's cause. Yeah, great. So I reached out, hey, this life runners will give you some free jerseys. What do you think? I get a message back, we talked about it, but we're just going to stay focused on women's safety. Leah's smiling because she's imagining what Pat Castle wrote back. And I said, hey, just a thought. 450,000 women in America are going to die in the womb this year. I got a women's safety issue for you. And it's called Life Runners. I'd be happy to get you some jerseys. Note back. Never thought about it that way. So even on our side, she was pro-life. I've transitioned over the line now. I went from extremely pro-choice, you think you're pro-choice, to you're pro-life, but you don't fully get it. And then the last one, I hope I have a good one. What's my last one? Oh, the last one just says, us. We're the ones that took an hour and a half tonight to rally on this issue. In other words, we get it. We know that this is not just the issue of our time, but all time. And we want to pick up the next little antidote. We want to know how when someone in a classroom, when you wear your jersey, which by the way, those that got a jersey, hopefully you're still working on getting signed up so you get the reminders. You get a weekly devotion on Wednesdays. You get a monthly update. You get a reminder on Tuesday night, the first Tuesday of the month that says, wear your jersey on the campus tomorrow. And you'll see other people, and you don't want to be going like, oh, that was today. I didn't finish signing up, so I didn't get the reminder. You get it. You're on the team. You get the team notices. So on the first Wednesday of the month around the world, 35 nations. Life Runners in 35 nations. Life Runners in every state in America. Life Runners on now, board tonight, the 46th school in America with the Life Runners chapter. And on the first Wednesday of the month, they wear that shirt on campus. So when the person pulls up to you after class or during class and gives some snarky remark and goes, oh, you're for life even with rape, and you're certainly not with rape and incest, be ready to respond and say this. Explain to me how the worst thing that could possibly happen to a woman, choosing to end the life of her own child, how that is going to help the second worst thing that could happen to a woman, which is them being raped. It's not their fault they got raped. You don't regret rape. You didn't do anything. It's not your fault. You regret abortion. You heard me give that stat earlier, 94%. That's something you're going to regret. So when you turn their question to a question, get their wheels turning. And let me tell you, it will just stop that thought process in their tracks. And maybe someone here tonight is pro-life. And there could be several people here tonight that were pro-life with exceptions. Like, I just can't get over it. That was my wife when I met her. Until I shared, as I just did with you, that she said, wow, I never thought about that way. And certainly God agrees with that approach. Remember? He left 99 sheep alone, unprotected, and went for the one. So he's no exceptions, going after even the one. So in those cases, the woman's been raped, incest, horrible. But you know there's a ministry called Save the One? And I'll give you a summary of their ministry. They stand up, I'm just going to summarize their whole ministry. I'm really glad my mom chose life. There, I summarize their ministry. So So these are people that were conceived in rape and incest. I just summed their ministry up. I'm really glad my mom chose life, in spite of those horrible circumstances. And don't you think there could even be something healing for that woman that was raped or incest that would come out with something good, came out with something absolutely horrific? I'm just proposing. But on a college campus, I'm thinking like you right now. I'm imagining what you must receive. Every little critical thing from there. Oh, what do you got on this? You're going to be challenged. You're going to be angled. You're going to be philosophized. You're ready. And that question comes your way next time. So there's our 4 angles. So what are we going to do? We're going to face it. What next? Let's face it. Let's face the reality. And let me give you an acronym you can write down. We're going to face it, and face is going to be an acronym. The F is we're going to face it with faith. And I'm not going to give a homily, although I'd love to. I'd love to just spend that. You know I'd like to do that, if you know me at all. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to resist that. We're going to face it with activism. We're going to face it with the courts. We've got Chris Montz right here. Chris Montz, he is the executive director for the Catholic Conference for the Diocese of Sioux Falls. We've got the executive director of the South Dakota Right to Life, Pastor Dale Barcher. Dale, give your people a wave. Dale Barcher. These folks know about facing with courts. And we might have enough time to maybe hit that top 10 list at the end, Dale. Even if we just did it quickly, just to give everyone that top 10 list. And a lot of things on the top 10 reasons why abortion rates are going down are thanks to the works of the courts. And then the E in face, education. I'm going to give you the reality issue by the numbers. And that's what you want. You want the numbers. And write them down tonight. As a matter of fact, if someone could help me pass these out, I've got the numbers on this half sheet. Get a couple people, Paul, Paul. And you can write notes on them and have them there. So when I get to that part, you can kind of read along. And you take these home with you. Paul will start working them around. And by the time they all get out, will be the time I get there. So faith. I already mentioned. I mentioned the lost sheep. What does that mean? Do you want to know God's perspective on the issue? You know what the Jeremiah 1:5 verse is? Who knows that verse? I was talking on the phone the other day ordering one of these banners, right? Jenny, you're going to kick out of this. This is 2 weeks ago. I'm ordering a new banner for the Long Beach Holy Innocents School. We were just hosted by them. They hosted the National Life Runners team. We did the Long Beach Marathon a month ago. I'm getting on, I'm ordering one of those banners for their school. One of those banners is $1,000. If one of those banners saves someone's life, I think it was worth $1,000. So I'm ordering the banner, and the person on the other line actually said this. Okay, so let me prove it with you. So JER15:5, that must be a Bible verse, but I don't really know Bible verses. It is. So you want to know what it says? Okay. Anyone know what it says in here? Life Runners, you know what Jeremiah 1:5 is? Everyone anyone? Leo wants it. He's going for it.
Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you.
Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. That's what God said. Even before. You know what I imagine? I imagine how cool that is, like things that happen in our life that God is the Alpha and the Omega. For example, I met a 98-year-old man in Pietrelcina, Italy, who, at the spot where who's heard of St. Padre Pio in here? Anyone? Okay, so I met him in 2006 at the top of a mountain in Colorado. You can Google that story. Or you can ask me afterwards. Give me the real quick. I'm not doing it, but afterwards, if you want to stick around, I will tell you. You can Google the story. I told it on EWTN a couple times on a show called Life on the Rock. So I went over to Italy and led a pilgrimage from Pietrelcina, St. Pio's hometown, to San Giovanni Rotondo. 82 miles we relayed for a day and a half. And when I got to St. Pio's hometown, I'm standing at the spot where St. Pio received the stigmata. Anyone know what the stigmata is? What's the stigmata? The wounds of Christ. So Pio first had the pains of them, and Pio was the only priest that ever had the stigmata. Interesting. He was the only priest to have the stigmata. And he had it for the longest period of time, 50 years. So I'm standing at the spot where Pio first received the pain of the stigmata, and a 98-year-old man walked up to me. How do I know he's 98? Because he told me he was 98. In Italian. Do I speak Italian? No. It wasn't a Pentecost thing. I asked the tour guide, what's he saying? And yes, he told me he was 98. So he grabs my hand, and he comes over while I'm standing there. He's like, Prego, buongiorno, pizza lasagna. I mean, it's just, those are the only 4 Italian words I know. And he said those and a whole lot of other ones. And the story he tells me, I let him go on. He was just, like this tall. And I asked the tour guide, what's he saying? And she goes, she's telling you that he shook St. Padre Pio's hand right where you're standing when he was 24 years old. Oh. And it was on the 23rd of April, 1940. So, okay, can you ask him that date again? So I asked him the date again. Yep, 23 April, 1940. That's my birthday, 23 April. So I remember reflecting on this. God knew us before in our mother's wombs, and I remember thinking, wow, yeah, God, yeah, of course you would have known that. You would have known that many years later, so here we're at 18, whatever, 76 years later, that I was going to be standing here on my birthday in a significant, spiritual, eye-opening, affirming moment. Signs and wonders. Open our eyes. They're all around us. People of faith. Amen? I'm going to resist that homily. You can see I'm trying to put the brakes on. So that really happened. So God knew us even before in our mother's wombs. So there's the faith. We know what God thinks about. How about the activism? Wearing a shirt. Oh, is it really a big deal? Wearing a shirt on campus the first week. You can wear it anytime you want. You can wear it every day if you want. On campus, wash it once in a while. And, is it really that big a deal? You tell me. Let me give you some stats. Ready? Piece of paper? First one says 82% of post-abortion women said if one person had offered support or if they had a supportive sign, they would have chose life. How about your shirt, the back of your shirt, when they're sitting behind you in class, and they're in a crisis pregnancy, half of abortions happen between the age of 18 and 24. You guys are in it. And do you think it matters, per the stat, one supportive person or a supportive sign? Yeah, you can literally be that sign. Someone that's in crisis, they are grasping at anything if you hear their stories. I mean, a bumper sticker, a billboard, someone said something. They remembered they got a certain text message that saved a life. This is how tenuous life is down at that moment. Stories I've had on the sidewalk, what is it that, would you need, that you're scared of with this? A washing machine. So if you had a washing machine, you're not going to go in and abort your child. Right. A washing machine. Yeah, I don't have a washing machine. Okay, we're going to get you a washing machine. Now, granted, you think about part of it, just sounds silly, It just sounds like, really? But when you're in a crisis, you're going to fixate on something, that's just going to, I need a washing machine. I'm stressed, I'm in a panic. Yes, it comes down to that. In your jersey, I'm here to tell you, absolutely. You could be the thing that unfreezes, that shocks them back to, oh my goodness, remember the unborn. You bet. You could save a life and not even know it. Just go into your math class in that shirt, per the stats. So, activism. Wearing that jersey, that's putting your faith in action. What does the book of James say about faith? Remember the book of James? He actually separates faith out. He goes, there's faith. You can believe. And then there's living faith. And anyone that knows the book of James, he tells some stories. If you just go, I believe it, but you do nothing about it, he says it's not a saving faith. So not only can you save a life, not only can you save a life, but you can also save a soul, or souls, including our own. We need to put our faith in action if you're a believer. It's not just enough to say, I believe abortion's wrong. You got to put it in action. So, Activism that gives you a chance to do that. C, courts. What's the big thing in courts? Well, the big thing on courts is this list. Things like, did you know in the last 7 years, 33% of state legislation on pro-life has been put into motion? Well, how many laws are there? 1,200 pro-life laws in America on the state level. 1,200. And a third of them have been put, so 400 in the last 7 years. So there's more action at the court level. What you might think, well, what kind of things, what are these laws? Having 24 or 72-hour wait periods before someone has an abortion. Does that matter? Yeah, it matters. Remember that little tension point we talked about? Just having time to think, time to visit, time to discuss, someone to reach them. That status, that one supportive person. It gives them time to have that supportive person or sign. Other things, they require an ultrasound. Laws that require an ultrasound. Why would we want that? 64% of women that are thinking about having an abortion see their ultrasound and higher. They see their child and they choose life. So there's laws, there's states that require ultrasounds. Iowa just passed a heartbeat bill. When you can hear, not when, because the heartbeat is at like 4 weeks, but you can hear it. So their bill is when you can detect the heartbeat, which is at 6 weeks, you can't abort your baby in the state of Iowa. Just, that's the most aggressive state law right now. 6 weeks, state of Iowa. How about South Dakota? Listen to the group we're in, SDSU. We're one of 4 states that when Roe is overturned, and Roe is going to be overturned. That's what Kavanaugh is about. That's the vote, everybody. Roe will be overturned. So when it's overturned, we're one of 4 states in America that on that day, per our Constitution, abortion will be illegal. And some people say, illegal? That means you'll have to drive to another state. That is so inconvenient. That is so not women's rights. Really? That drive to another state could save that baby because there's time to get out of crisis. Tell you a story. I told at dinner. This couple drove across the state of Missouri. Nope, they talk, college couple from the University of Missouri, Mizzou. Nope, we're not going to have the abortion. Drove back to the abortion facility. She went in for an appointment. She had decided she didn't want to. He hadn't been that firm about, no, I don't want to. So she came out and lied to him. She said, oh, they told me I was too far along, so we can't have the abortion. But she later said it was the time of dialogue that changed her mind. Another story, also state of Missouri, drove over to that same Overland Park, Kansas City abortion facility. Young couple sitting there. The boyfriend, I don't want to abort our baby. She writes back, I never did want to abort our baby. They had time to think on that drive. And if they would have just had it conveniently next to the campus, like in Sioux Falls, where there's an abortion facility across the street from Roosevelt High School. If you're in Mizzou, where they used to do abortions in Columbia, Missouri, but then because of pro-life work that we're talking about with facing it, there's not an abortion facility anymore. They have to go to Overland Park, Kansas, or St. Louis. If they would have had a 3-minute campus commute for their abortion, those babies would have been dead. So the net result of those laws, since 1990, there was 2,500 abortion facilities. Today there's 704. That's from laws. Those pro-life laws save lives and prevent the regret and pain of abortion. And finally, the E. And on the E is for education. So we're going to face it with faith, A, activism, C, courts, and E, education. Let's run these numbers. So the second bullet I alluded to, the 64%. Look at the third bullet. Abby Johnson. You ever heard of Abby Johnson in here? Abby Johnson? Yeah, she has a movie coming out March 22nd. She's a life runner. She called me like 3 months ago. Hey, Pat Castle, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm going to be at work. Hey, is there any chance that you could fly down to Oklahoma City and play the pastor in my movie? So I'm the pastor in her movie. I have one scene, like 2 or 3 minutes. I jump in front of a congregation, I read a verse out of the Bible, something that really pierced her heart. The verse was the one that if you lead a child away from God, it'd be better that you had a millstone around your neck and thrown into the ocean. And that verse, Abby Johnson said when she was in church, really weighed on her. She thought about that, and what she was doing as a Planned Parenthood director. And she had a great conversion. So Abby Johnson reported, when she was a director, that they have up to a 75% no-show rate at her abortion facility in College Station, Texas. So just being out there. Go down to Sioux Falls. It's like less than an hour. It matters. Stand out there. If you're like, I don't really know what to say, no problem. Just stand there. She said if there's just people there. Just there present. A woman that's thinking about abortion. Remember, I gave a talk a couple years ago in Missouri. A lady came up to me afterwards. I just want to tell you, we shared about just people being out. Yeah. She goes, that was me. No one knew I was going for abortion. I went there. There was people praying there. I couldn't do it. I couldn't hold it. They reminded me. Like, oh. She goes, yeah, it saved my life. There you go. Personal testimony. The lady told me that story. So if you want something worthwhile to do, go down during business hours of Planned Parenthood and stand on the sidewalk. Pray, be there, be a presence for those mothers. And if you want to learn how to do sidewalk advocacy, I'd love to teach you. I'm an advisor for that ministry. There's a website there, sidewalkadvocacy.org. The Jacks for Life, you guys could have training. We could do a training on how to do, you're that close to Sioux Falls. I'd be happy to come and do the training for you sometime. We could schedule for next semester. We'll do an hour on how to do sidewalk advocacy, what to say to a mother in crisis. And it's they have a four-hour DVD set. We can get it done in an hour. As you can see, I like to, Air Force guy, like to run fast. Ran a 431 mile, 956 2-mile. But we're the runners in here. These are the only people that any of these things matter to. So 431, 1651, 5K, not as impressive. Sub 3-hour marathon though, for any marathon, yeah. So, 123 half marathon, not as impressive, but I like to run fast too. My prayer is always, Lord, help me run as fast or as slow as you need me to today. It's not about running fast, it's about running the speed that God needs you to see the message on your back. Okay, next one on there. Look at these numbers. Google leading cause of death in America, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get heart disease at about 600,000 and cancer at 575,000, and that's a lie. We talked about a lot of lies in this talk. A lot of deception, a lot of cover-up. From Kavanaugh to Gosnell, to media cover-up, to truth cover-up, to when I was teaching in the public school systems in Missouri, largest public high school in Missouri in Jeff City. A couple thousand kids. I was one of 2 chemistry teachers. They came from biology to chemistry, and they got to my room, and I'd ask them about when life began, and the biology department never taught when life began. And I asked them why, and I said, because it's too political, too controversial, too religious. And I said, how about too biological? It's called biochemistry. So I taught when life began in my classroom. I picked up where they didn't leave off, or start with. That really happened. That's going on in our classrooms in America. There's teachers that are intentionally not teaching the truth. That's wild. And the other side, by the way, it's not an argument when life begins. So scientists in the room, there's no argument in science that life begins at conception. But how crazy it is that there's no argument, but scientists aren't teaching it because they have an agenda. Even in high school, let alone college. So sniff that out. So Google's not going to tell you that we're at the pace of 900,000 abortions this year. That's a leading cause of death in America. You know what else is interesting, little side note? Google the number of lives lost on September 11th. This is what you're going to get. 2,996. That's what they're going to say, how many people died on September 11th. It's not true. 11 of those people were pregnant. So the real number is 3,007. That's how many people. And you know how twisted this gets? Who's been to the memorial, the September 11th memorial in New York City? You know what's interesting? They list next to the mothers that were pregnant, an unborn child. Make up your mind. So, unborn child, but not counted in the total you just listed. That's That's the culture we're in. That's what you are going to college in. That's what you're learning the truth. That's where you have a sense of responsibility. If you walked in here and had some sense of, hey, I need to do something, I apologize. Because when you walk out, it should feel a little bit more like this. About a 4-ounce t-shirt worth more on your shoulder. If you're willing to put that on. I keep bouncing back between the world's words and the Lord's words. Pick up your cross and follow me. Yeah. Put that little blue t-shirt cross on that we call our jersey. 4 ounces. Put that on and follow him out into the world. And start conversations with the things that you learned tonight. You got organized. Next one. That September 11th number. Check that out. That's about what we lose every day in America. 2,500. That's our pace now. It's been up as high as 4,000. But the pace right now is 2,500 kids a day are aboard in America. That's about a September 11th amount. About 3,000. Next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's your name? Alex. Who knows Alex in the room? Wow, Alex. I know Alex. Alex, sorry. So Alex, imagine if Alex wasn't here. 20% of pregnancies in America end in abortion. There is 20% of this room is not here. Your peers, 1 in 5 of your peers have been aborted. I don't know how else to say that. But when you personify it, like I did, 1, 2, 3, 4, Alex isn't here. Alex was aborted. Then you go, whoa. 30% of women had an abortion. How's that stat? Did you know that? Is that a little bit about, really? Are you sure? Yeah, go back and have fun doing all your fact checking after this and see how fair I did with these. Man, that's almost 1 in 3. You know the caveat I give? I like to always give a little editorial note. This is just, you got the notes. In the presentation, you get a little editorial note. My editorial is, be sensitive and compassionate. When we're talking about this issue, yeah, someone in this room could be post-abortion. And whoever you are, because by the stats, there's a chance you can hear my voice. I don't know, but you're listening right now. I'm really sorry that we weren't there for you for that first step. If you're part of the 82% that said if just one person had offered support, I apologize on behalf of the church, on behalf of our community, on behalf of our school, on behalf of your neighbors. I apologize that we weren't there for you. To be that one supportive person, if that's you. And of course you know that there is a pathway for reconciliation. Our God is a look forward, not behind God. So grab that. Jump on that reconciliation train. Because that's why we're all in this together. 64% felt coerced. Look at that little parentheses. They perceive silence as consent. So coerced means to be forced. So most of the coercion, you think coercion like, oh, I'm taking you now, you're going to take care of this, end quote. Some abortions are like that. But most in the study said it was just silent. So they treated the silence of no one saying anything, which definitely corroborates with that first point, as coercion. Like everyone wants me to do this because no one said otherwise. So men in the room, be men. The least manly thing that you could possibly do in your life is to take somebody to an abortion facility. Why? Because God built you to be providers and protectors. That's how you were built. And you are going against everything it means to be a man if you were to take a lady to an abortion facility. If that is you, I say the same thing that I said to the post-abortion lady. If that is you, jump on the reconciliation train. We're all sinners. We've all got our stuff. There's not a perfect person in this room. Jump on the reconciliation train. God can handle it. That's why we have a Savior. And go do something about it. Go. We have a lot of post-abortion people on the Life Runners team. They find putting a Remember the Unborn shirt on is very redemptive and reconciling. Makes sense. 84% felt like they had no choice. Isn't that a little ironic? It's called the pro-choice movement. Wait a minute. 84% of the people that rallied around your movement said when they were surveyed afterwards, they felt like they had no choice. This is weird. You know why? Because we're the ones that have choice. Be a parent or let someone else be a parent. Adoption. Adoption is a choice we can all live with. You like that slogan? Adoption is a choice we can all live with. Yeah, Leah's like, oh, I'm writing that down, Dr. Pat. I thought I wouldn't get anything new. I just heard you talk a couple days ago in our huddle at the Nike Regional. Leah and I and Paul, we got Paul. Yeah, 3 of us here. Yeah, we were a group of 5, the first ever Life Runners cross-country team. We signed up as a community team in the Nike Regional Championship. We were last for the teams, but we were not last. May the last be first and the first be last. With the messages that we shared, God's like, yeah, the winners are, oh, excuse me, I guess we're heading on up to number 1. Woo! Because you didn't read your scripture. Well, no. So he's like, yeah. 45% are repeat. And how about this? You want to know the company we're in? I'm a patriot. Who else is a patriot in here? You love your country, raise your hand. That means you're a patriot. You love your country, raise your hand. You love your country, raise your hand. And if you got your hand up, slap a high five to the patriot next to you. Yeah. Chris Marine. Chris Mott, United States Marine Corps. His motto, Marine Semper Fi, always faithful. Aim high, Air Force dude. So make no mistake about it, I love our country. And I just don't you just when people write like in social media? And one thing about this country, like this country, it's our country. It always bugs me as a patriot when someone separates themselves from their country. One thing I can tell you about this country, that's your country, it's our country. Do you realize how blessed we are? So with that caveat, let me read what just is painful for me. This is the company we're in. America is one of 7 countries with abortion on demand for the entire pregnancy. You can legally abort a baby through all 40 weeks in America. Yes, most states have put 20 or 24 weeks on it. Iowa, 6 weeks. Not all of them. The abortionist in my community in Omaha, Carhart, one of 4 late-term abortionists in America, he gets on a plane and flies to Maryland twice a month and aborts babies into the 30 weeks. A story 5 years ago I read recently from 2013, he aborted a baby at 35 weeks, a teacher, and the teacher died during the abortion. So he killed a child and a mother. Legal. Oh, and who's our company? If you've already read ahead, if you're not like, well, Pat, just read to me, you know? Okay, well. Also, Canada. Oh, come on, Canada, don't let us role model this for you. Netherlands, they're liberal. Vietnam, Singapore, liberal. How about these last 2? Doesn't it just make you cringe as a patriot? We're in the same company as China, the one-child policy, and North Korea. Anyone follow any news on the reality of North Korea's culture? Really? That's the group we're in? Please, as fast as possible. Pastor Dale, Chris, everybody, all voters. Let's get out of that group. That's not America. That's not us. That's not our founding fathers. That's not our Christian foundation. And what are we going to do about it? We're going to speak up about it. We're going to save the soul of our nation. I promise you I finished with being on point. How the issue of our time, of all time. What are these numbers compared to? We've lost 1.4 million Americans in combat in the history of our country. There's some years when we lost more of that to abortion. 1.6 million abortions in 1990. In 1 year. We already referenced September 11th. How about the Nazi Holocaust? 9 million lost. We're at 61 million in America for abortion in our own Holocaust. Remember the billboards I read? Not normal. Not on our clock. Not at SDSU. And if these words are resonating with you, if maybe you're just trying to catch your breath, like when you saw the Gosnell movie or Schindler's List or any realities, maybe this is the first time all this came at you. At the South Dakota Right to Life, we did the youth breakout, Chris. I turned to a young lady, maybe 8th, 9th grade, got done with the presentation. Hey, what'd you think of the presentation? It was small enough. We can't all do it here. Well, a little bit. We went around the horn. There's about 18 of us, Leah. She was the first one. So, what do you think? Like, you heard this. Like, share out. This is what she said. This is too much. 8th grader. You know what I said to her? This is too much. But, can you put a shirt on? She had a shirt in front of her. Can you wear that to school? 8th grader. She said, yeah. Can you wear that the first Wednesday of the month? Slap that in? Walk down the hallways of your public school? Yeah. I said, okay. We're going to take too much, and we're going to lower it. In 1990, the 1.6 million abortions, it's 900,000 a day. 1990, 2,500 abortion facilities, it's 700 a day. Still too much. One child, according to the lost sheep, is too much. Infinite value of every life, according to God. Infinite value. Your life is as worth as much of as all lives combined on the planet in God's eyes. That's what Scripture says. How cool is that? Hence the complimentary saying, to save a life is to save the world. That's a reflection of that Scripture, that Gandhi quote. It's too much. So let's lower the weight. Let's get our name off that list. Let's vote accordingly. Let's put that jersey on the first Wednesday on campus. Let's recruit your roommate and people in class. Show them how to sign up. Who got signed up tonight? Raise your hand when you did. Okay, if you haven't, oh God, I forgot. That's okay. Go back to it right now. I want you to leave the room with it should say, welcome to the Life Runners team. If you got that screen, you're on the team. If you didn't, then look down because you made a mistake. It'll be in yellow. Oh, I didn't answer that question. You don't answer it. Get a screen that says welcome. Don't walk out of here not on the team. Be on the team. Face this issue. And is this issue going to be like the issue of slavery in our country? Yeah, it'll be like it from the standpoint of the people that lived at that time. You bet you want to be on the side of life, on the side of God, on the side of patriotism. That's this side. The group of people that gather tonight to spend their hour talking about this. And when you're old and gray and a grandparent, and when this is behind us, when you have a grandkid come home and say, wow, you were alive in 2018. I sure was. What was it like? Well, let me tell you. And you reach in your drawer, and that crackled screen printing, this all looks like, people actually buy shirts that look old. I was like, wow, they'll buy jeans with holes in it, or a crackled looking, like it's 20 years old shirt. But yours is going to look that way because you wore it so much, and you're going to go, see this shirt? I wore this on the first Wednesday of the month on the campus. And then I wore it after this is another thing. Life Runners isn't a Students for Life group. We have ages 0.1 to 101. That's kind of like, wow. 0.1 to 101. Can I prove it to you? It's one of my favorite parts, by the way. Yeah, I can prove it to you. 0.1 years old. There's a little girl in Sioux City, Iowa that was born, saw her at 4 days old and handed her one of these. In Sioux City, Iowa. And of course, then pretty soon she wasn't the oldest because someone else sent a message, hey, I just signed up my 4-day-old son and ordered a little onesie. And then they sent us pictures of their little babies. It does it count? Yeah. To be on the team, you need to have a jersey, check, and you need to wear it in public. Check. Little baby in public. She's on the team. He's on the team. And we have all the way up to ages 101. And we have all sizes. I was going to put this on the Rocky Balboa statue in Philadelphia when the Life Runners did the Philadelphia Marathon in 2016. The security guard said, So instead I put it on the Padre Pio statue in Fiumicino. So, yeah. to the size for everybody. Oh, we recently made our website Spanish friendly. I really hope that says remember the unborn. That's all I gotta say. I hope some pro-choice screen printer didn't go, oh yeah, you're set. But my Spanish friend Priscilla, and we're gonna be on Spanish EWTN. We have a Spanish version of that banner that looks just like this. We're going to be on Spanish EWTN. But I was like, I'm so glad I came just to get this part. At the March for Life in DC. So look for us on switch over to Spanish EWTN. We'll be on English EWTN as well, Riley. But we'll be on both. And we have a Spanish life runner going to talk in Spanish and tell them about life. So welcome to the team. What questions and comments do you have? Feel free to go. You're in college. I get it. I spent 11 years in C. Yeah, I spent 4, 8, and then as a professor. I spent a lot of years in college. 8 as a student, then 8 more years. So I spent 16 years in college. So I get it. If you need to go, go. But how about those that want to really know where the finish line? We'll stick around to 8:30 and I'll give another hard stop. If you want these 18 minutes, ask me anything. So, gosh, Pat, what have you done, or is it true, or how can we, or what else, or how do you know this? What do you got, college people? Questions? Welcome to the team. You're walking out signed up, right? Welcome to the team. You'll get up, you're welcome. Yes?
So I feel like the biggest argument I feel like I've ever heard is like Planned Parenthood has more to offer than abortion. So like, does Mary's Choice offer all the same things?
Awesome question.
Yeah.
No, great question. So, what Planned Parenthood says is that they say 3% of what they do is abortion. This is their line. But when you look at the money that comes in, it is half of their budget. So in terms of the income. So 3%, how do they judge the 3%? They count every STD test, every pregnancy test, every widget they do, every single thing is a thing, including abortions. And then they say, hey, it's just 3%. And you can do the 3% Planned Parenthood video, and pro-lifers have a heyday breaking down their budget, etc. The other thing is Planned Parenthood does 300,000, 1/3 of the abortions in America are Planned Parenthood. And they get $500 million a year. You know, they get $500 million in funding. And they say it's not for abortion, because there's a law in America that Title 10 money can't go towards abortions. But, so they put the money towards something else, which frees up their budget to do abortion promotion and whatnot. It's semantical. But to your services rendered comment, this is your two sides of it. The perception is that Planned Parenthood does more than they really do. For example, people think they can go there and get breast cancer screening or mammograms. They don't do either. But there's this perception if you survey people. No, they don't do that. None of them do. There's also this perception then on the Mary's Choice of what do they do and not do. They'll do STD, they'll do pregnancy tests, they'll do ultrasound. Do they do abortion? No. Do they do mammograms? No, neither do they. So, my point is, there's one difference in service, and that is contraception and abortion. And why not? I gave a talk on this, and you can look this talk up too. It's one I did on a webcast called Love Will End Abortion. Contraception is a slippery slope to abortion. When contraception fails, and don't you just love it, pro-lifers, when they call abortion contraception? And give me a break. That's how normalized. No, you're not. Contraception is preventing pregnancy. Abortion is you just ended a pregnancy. So contraception is a slippery slope because when contraception fails, when the pseudo-confidence of contraception, what's left? And not many people are bold enough or fair enough in this culture to say, hey, this might sound old-fashioned, but how about just wait till we get married? I mean, no one said that anymore. Even pro-lifers don't say it anymore. Well, what's wrong with it? I got 2 daughters, and I'm candid with them. I'm cheering them. Just the other day in the car, we were riding home from 3 of us from some, youth group or something, and some came up, and I nabbed the opportunity. I said, ladies, 15 and 18, your dad is cheering you to your marriage as a virgin. And do you know, listen to how I word it. Do you know how cool it would be? How unique it would be? How powerful it would be? How holy it would be if you attained that? And for those that have already lost their virginity, there's something called second virginity. In other words, don't throw in the towel like half abortions or repeat abortions. It's because they threw in the towel. Oh, I guess I did that. I guess I guess I add that sin to the bucket. I've already done it. What's one more? So if that's you and you've already had the recommit yourself. Restart your clock. That's what my wife and I did. We didn't have a perfect batting average. I'm not the holiest guy you're ever going to meet. I strive for it. In my imperfection, I hope that God fills in the gaps. But I will tell you one thing we did. We labeled it as not the right answer at the beginning of our courtship, and we labeled it as not the right answer on the night that we got married, up till that night. So when we didn't have the perfect batting average, we labeled it wasn't what it was. That wasn't right. This was not as God intended. And it's reckless was the word. So this is reckless. It was reckless. Some people are writing blank checks, culturally, spiritually, social. You're writing checks that you don't have it to back up that family. Hence the temptation of an abortion. So you're not going to hear too many humans tell that. Maybe never in this room. I might be the first guy that's ever said, hey, why don't we wait till marriage? Or why don't we restart the clock and give that gift to her? As a dude, how cool would it be to look at your future wife and go, it's been 7 years since I've had intercourse. And that's a gift that I'm going to give to you right now on our wedding night. I'll tell you what, ladies in here right now, you'd be like, hubba bubba bub. Dudes, your lovemaking that night just went hubba hubba bubba. How do I know? I've been married for 24 years. Dudes, offer that to your spouse. Spouse, same answer. It's been 12 years. It's been 6 years. It's been 5 years. And I've saved this for you. And I'm sorry I couldn't offer you 25 years. But I got 6 for you. That's a gift. Sorry. But I can't believe I got to give an abstinence. I did not see that coming. What? I thought he was talking about Gosnell. Yeah, he had to be there. Good question, by the way. Thank you. What else? Throw it out. We got 11 minutes. Throw something spicy and juicy. Yeah.
What do you think the best way is to start that conversation about abstinence with like a friend or something that's already engaging in that?
You know what? My goodness, this is not tough from the standpoint of the numbers. There's a book, ready for a note? Ready for a note? Dr. Meg Meeker, Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters. And yes, it applies to sons and mothers. Do yourself a favor. Maybe they have it online where you can preview it. The first chapter gives all the stats on the reality of this percent of people at age 9 have had sexual intercourse. This percent of people at age 12 have had the following STDs. She's a pediatrician. And then her book is about, she starts out by the reality. Thank goodness I read this before I had kids. It motivated me to have the talk with my daughters at age 9. Because that's where all the crap started. So I went, I'm going to do it. I can't believe it. And I sat down and had the talk with each of my daughters at age 9. And I started a conversation. I started being the expert in their life versus Planned Parenthood, coming in using words like penis and vagina. And then parochial school, are you going to I'm like, yeah. Do you think the kids are ready for that? They're going to read it on a billboard across the street at the abortion facility. That really happened. I'm in a parochial school, Catholic school, and Carhartt's facility is across the street with abortions.org. And they asked me if I was going to use the A word. And you know, I couldn't help myself what I actually did say. I said, do the kindergartners read? Yeah. Yeah, they read. Okay. They've already seen the A word. Let's define it before Cleveland defines it. Remember the Cleveland billboards I read tonight? So, answer your question. The reasons for abstinence, when you read Meg Hinker's first chapter, are very practical. It's a math problem, everybody. Ready for the math problem? If the person that you just slept with had slept with someone else, and that person had slept with 2 other people, and that person had slept with 3, and they slept with 4, when you slept with that one person, you add them all together, it's like you just slept with 432 people. You ready to be just grossed out tonight? Did everyone just catch that? It's a math problem. Meaning transmission-wise, and STDs and AIDS and transmittables. It's math. So when you read that, you go, ooh. You get super motivated from a math standpoint, from a percent standpoint, when you hear her stories, when she looks at parents and go, Johnny, 11-year-old Johnny has gonorrhea. That's not possible. 11-year-old Johnny has gonorrhea. And then, you know, the story goes from there. Yeah, learn the stats. Let alone, what does God think about it? Let alone, you know, you can put a condom on some things. You can't put a condom on your brain. You can't put a condom on your soul. Quote me on that one. I just made that up. I've never said that before. And if you like it, use it. If you thought it was really weird, just forget about it. Because I do not want to spoil this presentation. You're like, Pat, you just made the presentation. The whole before, but now, yeah. And yes, you can put that on social media. What else? You got me for 8 minutes. And then I'll stay after hours. We'll do after hours party, but at 8 minutes, I feel like, okay, now I really feel like I can go. And I want to be a team player, but I got this essay I got to write tonight. What else?
So besides wearing these shirts, what's the next best thing we can do as college students?
Okay, like it. Like it. Let's go. Number one thing, the most powerful thing that all of us can do is, what can we do? Pastor, weekend, pray. Like, darn it. Patrick?
I thought it was pray, but it wasn't.
Yeah. You're thinking it was more complex. It's not stoichiometry. I did not want you to say stoichiometry. There's a chemist in here. Med students. Yeah. Feel the pain. Who's had organic chemistry in here? Oh, yeah. Ooh. Low crawl through barbed wire. So, yeah. Not stoichiometry. Pray. We pray. I said drive 45 minutes down to the Planned Parenthood. It matters. I gave you the stats. It matters. You do have turnaways. I told stories. I told first-hand stories. Where are the shirts? At a college campus, 50% happen between 18 and 24. You guys are living in the place where half of abortions happen. And you have an abortion facility. 45 minutes. Of course people are going from this campus down and aborting their kids. And of course they're going to be in the 94%. And is it really 94% regret? No, it's 94% realize they regret, and 6% just haven't labeled their pain yet. 100% are going to regret the abortion. Give me a break. There's nothing to be proud of that you ended the life of your child. So you can do that. And you can do what you're saying, what can I do? Always feel compelled to do more. I love your Jacks for Life group. I love your chrism. Your chrism is, we're going to do more. We can do more. What more can we do? Love that chrism. Just so you know, some groups, they're the March for Life club. Like, yeah, we want to go to D.C. Yeah, we're pro-life. Are you pro-life? Are you really pro-life? I feel pro-life in here. South Dakota, one of 4 states, trigger law. I mentioned that earlier. This is a pro-life state. Does it mean that crises don't happen? Does it mean that mistakes don't happen? No. It means that let's be there for them. So the top 10 list, let's read that top 10 list at least. These are the top 10 reasons I wrote last night why the abortion rate is dropping. And it also gives me a chance to practice. Going to be on Omaha Catholic Radio across the state of Nebraska tomorrow afternoon for 50 minutes talking about this. So the state of Nebraska and a couple pockets in Wisconsin hear it. So this is what I came up with last night, and I bounced it off our dinner group. And they're like, yeah, that should go. So I'll start with number 10. Number 10, oh, I just left off with it. Women regret abortion, 94%. Abortion's a lie. Number 9, education. More education. You guys came tonight. You got that little sheet of paper. I cut off the sides on mine, the bottom, and I folded it and put it in my wallet. Just FYI. I went at home. Oh yeah, trunk. Feel free to adopt that. Education. Pro-life is pro-science. Classroom stories. Reality of abortion stats. 8. We're reaching young people. Jacks for Life, Life Runners, student chapters. You're the newest chapter in the world tonight. And all the lady at Fiji, you know she's having hated. She didn't know I was going to be here tonight. She's like, oh, Pat must be at SDSU. Check it out. You know, Father Joe Coffey's like, go Pat. You know, he's like praying for us right now. I mean, that group, that board is just like cheering us on around the world. Literally around the world, different time zones. That's cool. It's universal. Pro-life is universal. Next one, 7. I'm going backwards, remember. I'm going up to number 1. Sidewalk ministry. Go there. It matters. 40 Days for Life. Sidewalk Advocates for Life. Closing facility. 6. Mandated parental involvement. Imagine that. Here's a story I told at dinner. When I was an Air Force commander at Ellsworth, someone who knows I'm pro-life, they, follow me on social media or see me put that shirt on at lunchtime when I walk out of the Ellsworth Hospital, came up to me and was like, medical people, can't know names, personal information, but parents had to decide on whether their daughter could have an abortion. She wanted one, mom wanted her to have one, and dad said no. No abortion. Both parents had to consent for an abortion in the state. That really happened. That dad did his job. Protect and provide. He protected his child and his grandchild from a lifetime of regret. How well is that? And you know that someday his wife and his daughter will thank him when they have clarity, when they're holding their child. Who saw the movie October Baby? October Baby. Yeah. So I'm coming out of the movie October Baby. See it, write it down. October Baby. Awesome movie. Right now, here's another one to write down. Ready? Blood Money. You can Netflix these. I wouldn't recommend them if they weren't absolutely 100% awesome. And if you had to choose, Blood Money first. Sioux Falls, Planned Parenthood is in the movie. Blood Money. Big national pro-life movie. Really interesting. You will learn stuff, you'll learn more stuff. Blood Money, second one, October Baby. So those that saw October Baby are coming out of the movie. And you know you're leaving, you're going down the steps after the movie, going down, everyone's leaving. This young lady, I don't know, 15, 16, turns the corner at the bottom of the steps. She turns the corner, I catch her profile, she's like this pregnant. 15, 16 years old, at the movie October Baby, a pro-life movie about a mom and her crisis pregnancy. I reach over the railing. I'm going down the stairs. I reach over the railing, and I go like this. And she looks up and I said, thank you for choosing life. I now come around the horn. She's standing there. She stopped. She turns to me. She walks towards me. And she wraps me up. And she starts crying. I mean, this was an emotional movie for her. She's in a crisis pregnancy. She's a teen. That's what the movie's about. She starts crying. And she says, no one has said that to me. Just like that. She's this far along. Remember the 82% thing? No one's saying anything. So to answer your question, Josh, right? Josh, everyone, talk. Talk about this with your friends and your roommates. Remember the social media challenge? Do it tonight. How strongly pro-life are you? Remember what God said? What you do for unborn. It's the most dangerous spot on the planet right now, per the numbers. The womb. What you do for the unborn, Scripture says you do for God. That post tonight, look what I learned tonight. With a picture, take a picture of the banner. Get in the picture. Do a selfie with the banner. Get your friend group in with the banner. Post that with a couple stats. Your treasure's in heaven. That's what Scripture says. What you did for the least of these. So she wraps me up, and the next thing I said to her is I said, you will never regret choosing life for your child. And then, she leaned in again. My wife wingmaned me. So she's like, she tells me this later. She reeled around and Mom and Dad are there. So Mom and Dad are watching this, and Mom and Dad are like, this is still in the movie theater. We have not left the movie theater. So Angie wraps Mom up. Hey, she said, I said, what'd you say? She said, what I want to hear. Well, what'd you say? I said, this has got to be really tough. What'd she do? She cried harder. And she said, oh, okay. Then she turned to the dad. What'd you do with Dad? Well, I gave him a hug. What'd you say to him? I said, you're a good dad. What'd he do? He cried some more. That really happened! Josh, am I answering your question?
Yeah.
That's what you do. Number 5, required ultrasound. 64% to see their ultrasound choose life, required by law. That is help save more lives. 4, 24 and 72-hour wait periods. More time to get out of crisis, save lives. 3, the net result of those laws, Brad? Less abortion facilities. We talked about that tonight. From 2,500 at the peak down to 704 tonight. 2, more pregnancy help centers. There was less than 700 in 1990. There's over 3,000 today. You direct them to the real resources, the real help, as you ask the question. And number 1, drum roll. The number 1 reason, keep it going. The number 1 reason, why of course keep it going. Let's make it dramatic. This is like the official end of our presentation. Then I'll teach you the next year. Yes, keep the drum roll going. Yes, you keep on, keep talking. Churches are rising up as intended by God. Boom. There's your top 10 ones. Here comes the cheer. And this is to give you energy for going out, and I know you're not done with your day yet because you're in college. So the cheer for the National Life Runners team is all in Christ for pro-life. We also have a handshake and a slogan. You're going to learn all of them. Raise your hand if you're on the team now officially. Yeah, we got a bunch of teammates. Let's start with the handshake. Handshake for the National Life Runners team is we do everything in the name of the Father, boom, and the Son, boom, and the Holy Spirit, boom. Turn to your neighbor and practice that. We do it all in the name of the Father, boom, Son, boom, and the Holy Spirit, boom. So you know the handshake when you do on campus. You see someone in blue? Hey, you can do it. Hey, Pastor Gill, from across the room. Ready? Hey, from across the way. Ready? Boom, boom, boom. You can do it across the quad. Ready for the next one? The slogan. God first, life always, teammates forever. Everyone good with that? Is everyone good with heaven's a team effort? We're not getting there alone. Anyone want to go to heaven? Raise your hand. Maybe that question's never been asked in this room before. Yeah, I want to go. Let's help each other. And lastly, the cheer. Here we go. We do it 3 times. I'm going to give it all in Christ. You're going to give up for pro-life. I'm going to give it all in Christ. You're going to give up for pro-life. Nice and loud, blood flowing, and then we're out of here.